Hey man, how are you? I know I'm sniffling and like yes, I've been crying and I may cry again, but it's been a fucking rough morning. And my computer's moving slow as shit and yeah. Thank you. It won't, I'm like, this is just me being casual. So the flannel was when I started thinking about how I wanted to date a boyfriend. I bought flannel to be like, okay, if I had a boyfriend, what shirt would I steal from him? Like, how do I start fitting the concept of a man in my life? So, yeah. Yeah. The flannel is because, like I say, if I had a boyfriend, A, what size would I want him to be, potentially? And B, what would that look like? I even bought, and I know that's silly, but I had bought like cologne and stuff that like, you know, like what is the smell of a man after being so single for so long? Like, what does that smell like? So that my brain can start saying, hey, if you want a man in your life, what does that look like, feel like, smell like? So yeah, this is a Goodwill special and I absolutely adore Goodwill. So yeah, well, I grew up in the 90s as well, but not in Michigan. So when you see me with like Nirvana and flannel, that's because at my heart, I am like a 90s grunge kid that loves flannel and I guess deep pain and emotions. I don't know. Yeah. Although, ironically, like, I didn't get my first Nirvana shirt until the last year, and that was actually a Goodwill find for 99 cents. I absolutely love that shirt, and I'm trying to go back to find more Nirvana shirts, because I'm like, yeah. So, anywho, I'm just going to talk on something that kind of happened that's very upsetting right now, is when I was talking about patterns and somebody said, well, I recognize the patterns. I'm like, then you have a possibility to move differently. Well, I don't want to. That's the definition of insanity. That being said, I was being gaslit by my abusers to be like, well, it's not that we don't believe you, but it's your approach. And I was like, there was no other approach when you guys were doubling down on the abuse. Like, I had to cut people out and seem crazy because the very people that were torturing me were not stopping the abuse. Had the discussion again about how women being in domestic violence situations and talking to the abuser puts the survivor in danger. And they said, well, you acted completely different. Yeah, if I'm acting out of character, which is what has happened with this whole journey, if I'm acting out of character and that's not who I ever have presented at, maybe everybody should have taken a bigger look at why I was acting like that. But instead, they all formulated a plot and a plan and a story to work together. So it was a challenge because as I was fighting with a very stubborn, strong-headed Aries, I got told, like, well, you know, like, she doesn't think it's a problem. And I'm like, you don't see it's a problem because you're perpetuating the problem. You think it's okay. And if you were in the same situation, you would be very upset. So, there's that. And, yeah, hopefully I let that out eloquently enough to be understood. But you can't see the problem because you're actively working to make the problem bigger. And then when my intuition, or I say, hey, this isn't right, and I cut you off, and then you double down on how I'm the problem. Yeah, no, I see you. Okay, so Mordecai, since I sent you a picture of that, those tiles came out Thursday night. And that was like the letters that came out, and that's like the order it came out in. And I was like, I needed that message. I feel like that message needed to come out because I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not the crazy one. I'm the one that was abused. And the other part, because this was a strong-headed person and they've told me, oh, it didn't happen to me, or it couldn't happen to me. And no. It actually came out as like a voice of reason, because intuition is like calm, like crazy, and anxiety and programming that they try to send to you. Because we could also talk about like all kinds of energy weapon stuff, but when it's calm, that's intuition. When it feels frantic, that's panic, and that's generated outside of you. Intuition comes with a calm. So when the word came out and I was like, I mean, yeah, I wanted to be like, are you mocking me? But then I'm like, nope, that felt calm. So everybody that said it was crazy, I'm like, nope. Even the tiles confirm. I know that sounds crazy, yet everything that's happened to me has not been normal, sane, or right, which is also why I asked everyone else to get evaluations like I had gotten evaluations. And strong pattern recognition. I'm going to say this. Because I have a lot of people watching me. What they don't realize is they have a lot of people watching them. I watched this happen last weekend. I was having people watch me. I know the sheriff's watching me. They patrol all the time. They get real close, but they leave me alone. And that part of it is that everybody creates so much buzz around me that now all eyes are on them, and people are wondering, why is there so much buzz around her when she does nothing? So I'm being watched and monitored heavily, and the people that are doing fuck shit to me are being watched and monitored heavily. So I'm like, there's some questions. And why I say pattern recognition was because I talked about it this week, and I've posted about it, and I've mentioned it in Badger, that kind of a thing. It was like I said, last Saturday, I had someone who particularly likes to make my life troublesome, and he did it again, and then right behind him was sheriff, and then they got around the corner and he hit the sirens. So I'm like, yeah, people are fucking with me, and maybe the police are fucking with me, and maybe they aren't doing what I think that they're doing, but when they cruise by and they disturb my peace like they always do, like I say, the sheriff was hot on their ass. So either, again, maybe they're trying to create puppetry, or maybe my theory of being watched and protected by law enforcement is a little more close to true, and the people that have been fucking with me, and that whole part of it, the people that have been fucking with me, I'm like, you're not gonna want to do that, because you are creating a lot of heat around me, and people take notice. So you're gonna want to stop. And instead of stopping, again, they just got doubled down harder. So I'm like, okay. I had a family situation pop up where someone that I trusted and loved dearly, and I spoke on this today, and that person that was defending that person doubled down on their shit. And I'm like, it makes it more messed up, because the person that was defended had helped her friend in a domestic violence situation, but then sold me out to my abusers, all of them, for money and greed. And I was like, that's not love. Like, I taught that girl a lot of fucking things, and when I was in this situation, she didn't believe me. And when my kid was like, oh, because you started acting so off the cuff. Yeah, again, if I've acted like this for decades, like I was the XYZ, and then all of a sudden I'm in trouble and no one believes me, maybe they should have taken a bigger look at what was going on around me. And the fact that she was an ally for her friend, but ganged up together to destroy the woman that helped raise her, speaks to her character more than mine. Anyway, so said offender showed up on my property today. They were told that they are not welcome at my door, and I had to go outside to do something. And as soon as I walked outside, she turned her back so I couldn't see her, and she couldn't see me. But this is, again, someone who said, oh, I love you and I miss you. Then do the right thing. Talk to me. This part of it. if everything I said was untrue, there would be receipts to prove that I'm wrong. But since they just keep silent and keep adding more things to their arsenal of deeds and crimes, I know that I'm onto something, especially the fact that they get so angry and keep going harder. I'm like, because if what I was saying was untrue, they'd be able to prove that, right? Super easy, super fast. So I feel like there was something else. Although, okay, so I'm going to talk about karmics, and one of the karmics I saw in my old neighborhood yesterday is not looking good. Time has not aged well on her. You can tell she's doing bad, dirty shit. My niece isn't doing super well either. Like, I can tell, even though all I saw was her backside, I saw that her backside had definitely grown. So I'm like, she's someone who intentionally has she's had body dysmorphia and weight issues and has struggled really hard to keep her figure down. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I haven't seen you in over a year, but I see the toll that it's taking on your backside. And it could be catty as hell, but for all that they've tried to do to me, I see it's taking its effect physically. She didn't want me to see her face because either something's been done to her face or her face don't look good either. So I'm like, these karmics can't hide their dirty deeds because it starts physically taking its toll on them. I had spoken the other day about how a former family member, and I didn't catch it at the time, but now that I've got space and distance, she always has to have a full face of makeup, yet under that, like when in the full face of makeup does not hide the decay of her body and soul. Like, she tries to put that mask on to hide that, like, underneath she is ugly soul, ugly body. And I'm like, yeah, I can't wait for people to see through that mask that you've got on. Because if she were truly brave and as righteous and as she said, the truth doesn't hide behind robes. Lies do. Lies don't. If someone's beautiful, they don't have to hide behind a face full of makeup. Anywho, I'm gonna eat just a little bit more. I'm sure I'm gonna bring another piece of whatever through. My family's mocking me, is what it is, Mordecai. And they mocked the wrong one, because I have the receipts to show what's going on. And actually, I'm going to speak to that. I posted a few videos the other day that were ugly, like of the evidence of what they had left behind. It's like, I never wanted it to get to that point. I wanted you to do the right thing so that I never would have had to release anything ugly about you. But because you refuse to ever come correct or admit that you were wrong, now I have to show everybody your belly because you weren't right. You never have been. And because they like to say, oh, don't share that. No, don't do that to me so that I don't have to share that. So, I don't know. Like, I never wanted to release shit about my family. I never wanted anybody to look at my family any different. Yet my family refused to actually be decent human beings. So you have now forced me to expose you. This is a part when I talk about, I have very headstrong astrological signs in my life, and they have that exterior of being so tough, and they are. And they have that exterior of being a fighter, and they are. But it's that whole, like, the human fragility of, oh, that could never happen to me. And I was like, I thought the same thing. And then they like, oh, that would never happen to my kids. I thought the same thing. So the thing that I said, I'm like, if you're so strong at pattern recognition, you have got to realize that because you feel you support and endorse these people. Even, I mean, I've heard them say before, oh yeah, we know that they're a pedophile. So you know who isn't going to know that they're a pedophile? Their friends or their kids. They're not going to be able to protect their kids from the very exact same people that they welcome openly into their life, and they think that that's okay. They say, oh, it won't happen. No, it will. oh, it can't happen to me. Well, because you actually let that person into your life, it will happen to your kids because you think that this person's okay and safe to be around you. I'm telling you it's not. But because you think that they're safe, they're going to do it to your kids. So that's what makes me sad. I saw it and I called it because I don't want it to happen to anyone else. It could have ended differently for them, but then they wanted to keep doing their thing. Now I feel like I gotta eat faster because I want to get this eaten and get into something other than eating right now. I don't know. Safe travels. And eating SpaghettiOs, that's a childhood trauma trigger. Apparently I need to go back to something about SpaghettiOs today to be able to unlock some shit, so. Hopefully. That's... The other part with the family, I mean, they're mad because they've thrown everything and everyone and legions of demon money, spell work, surveillance all at me, and I'm still alive. Yeah, they're terrified. And they should also be asking how I did it. But since they refuse to acknowledge or pay me, they're going to have to learn the hard way of what they did to me is returned to them tenfold. And the people that they worked with that they swore would never do that to them are going to turn on them. If they do it with you, they'll do it to you. It's like cheaters, like the men that cheat. And it's like, if he cheats with you, it's only a matter of time before he cheats on you. Like, when I say clean up your circle and watch your friends, watch your family, that's because if you're doing dirty things with someone, they're going to turn around and do the same exact dirty thing to you. And you don't have any leg to stand on because you knew it. You helped perpetuate it. And I've been speaking on that with the spectators for over a year too, is that if they're doing it with you, all those adults that had coached you to behave bad, all those adults that coached you are going to turn around and sell you out. Oh, they would never. Won't they though? Won't they though? And the question was posed if someone ever truly loved me, like maybe it was all just a lie. Maybe it was. And maybe in my fractured little brain, I made it look enough like something that could make me happy to be able to deal with what I had to go through for long enough. I don't think that person doesn't know how to love. They only know how to destroy. Truth be told, though, I've never been loved. It's always been lies and deception and whatever. So, did that person love me? I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe they just played a really good role, and maybe I played a really good role in order to get to the next part of our mission. Anyhow. Hopefully that all makes sense. And I don't know. He couldn't love me because he didn't love himself. Just like my mom. My mom couldn't love me because she couldn't love herself. She did try to take everything from me and call it love and try and make it her own because she saw that the love was in me, not on me. She hated the fact that people, animals, children loved me naturally and no one would pay her any mind because she was an ugly soul. So, I don't know. I don't know. And honestly, I don't care if they won't love me. I want them to stop harassing me. I don't care if they love me. I don't want their love. I want them to stop harassing me and compensate me for everything they stole from me. Because I should not have to sit in prison. I should not have to be diminished to less than human and a skeleton because some dude couldn't control himself. And then some other woman covered it up for him. I shouldn't have to sit in cells for the abusers. That's their seat now. That should have been their seat decades ago. They should never have been able to do as much chaos, destruction that they ever did. And that's because we didn't have safe protectors in our home. We had monsters. Okay. All right. Well, that was some info. It's not just cheaters though. It's murderers and pedophiles and liars and crooked officials. It's why does the person, or not person, it's people, it's groups. Why do the people that hurt me get to live high off the hog off of my life? Like, my niece, right, who has played such a dirty fucking hand. I thought about this. She comes to where we live for work, which ironically my son works for the same company. She comes here for work, and I had heard some discussions, and they're like, "Oh, is your friend coming?" So she wanted to spend so much time with my daughters because she doesn't get time, but anytime she comes here, all she ever does is takes my daughters out to do great things with them and have so much fun. Yet, because of what's fucking happened, I can't afford to take my daughters to lunch and bowling like she gets to do. I can't afford to take my daughters to get their nails done. So again, she's stealing all of the roles that I gave her and them, because that was all things that I did with her. That was all things that I did with my kids. But she gets to be a surrogate for me and make their life spectacular, and I have to sit here and take their abuse and not be able to afford to live. The abusers get to go out and have fun with my kids and live their biggest heyday because they're all funded by all the other abusers. Like, and the people that they all joined sides with, actually, you know, because I was in the trenches with all of them, the people that they joined sides with were people that they hated too. Like, my niece hated my mom. My niece hates her mom. My niece hated her dad, who is definitely a known pedo because he was 40 dating a 14-year-old. And because he liked 14-year-olds. I'm sorry, she was 15-year-old. And I was 5 when he was allowed free access in our home. They all know this. He's a man who intentionally keeps tweakers around so that he can put them in bad spots and then throw them in jail. And then he's also the one that, like, He's been linked to some accidental deaths, and then all of a sudden he has money from life insurance policies that he never had any right to have because he was estranged from the person that had an accident. Yet he got rich off of them. This is all things that these people that hated these other people know, and yet they completely turned in and clung to them. I can't even, like, my brother's girlfriend, everyone hated my brother's girlfriend, yet they're all thick as thieves and best buddies now. They all have dinners together. They all go, it's like, I saw who gave me a hard time when I was already having a hard time. And I've done a lot of therapy. They tried to call me crazy. No, I've done therapy. They refuse. So, and that is the other part of it. If they had nothing to hide, or if they weren't truly crazy, they could do a psych eval and not have any problems. They could do therapy and not have any problems, right? Like, if they were completely sane, normal, had clean hands, they would easily be able to prove what they've done. They would easily be able to have a psych eval. They would easily be able to do all of that. Yet, these are things that I have had to pay for out of pocket. And that's another reason why, the finances are super fucked. Do you know how much I've had to pay for out of pocket that, again, they will never step forward to do? I fought so hard to have my kids have mental health evaluations and was denied by the judge, denied by the lawyers. I was told during my court case, my lawyer had said to me, your therapist can't testify on your behalf or the kids' behalf. And I said, how exactly in abuse cases do children have advocacy if the mental health providers can't speak on their behalf? And again, they drug into court my mental health. They actually blasted that straight out. When I mentioned how my daughter had been hospitalized a great multitude of times in a very short amount of time span, they struck that from the record. I don't see, like they had said, like, I don't see what the kid's mental health capacity has to do with this case. And I'm like, maybe because while we were all living with this man, we were all depressed, medicated, therapy, to the point of hospitalization multiple times for a minor child who has since then expressed that she has ideations of hurting herself, and the lawyers, the judges, the therapists, fingers in their ears. Although they're all bought and paid for. So it's no wonder the judge won't hear me. And that was the other part. We've had some court mishaps, but there's always a specific judge that has ended up on our case. Wow, that's really easy to see. Especially when he's not supposed to be actively be in the courtroom, and the judge that was supposed to be on the case is sick the days that we happen to be there or not in court. Again, my therapist bought and paid for by this company because that was the health insurance. And then, so yeah, I guess it would make sense as to why they don't want to testify, because then they would realize that there's been a lot of lying and corruption and greed, and it really is all just greed. That man can never love me because all he loved was money and fame and status and clinging to a fragile ego. My niece who loves, she don't love anything, she loves money. I know that's a harsh whatever, but that is the reality that I've seen. Like, they say they love me with their mouth, and yet all of the evidence that stacks up against them proves that they do not love me and never did. So you don't do that to people you love. Anywho, you know what? We're gonna start with the tiles right now. I'll just start with some tiles. What information do we need to know today? Eagle. Okay, so MIIA and an eagle. So missing in action. Oh, that was the other. I have a feeling my ex should actually be highly watched because he's a flight risk. He's going to run and try and disappear into a foreign country. The kids too. They're all going to be a flight risk. My family that lives in the woods is going to try and run. And I'm like, yep. So, okay, MIA and an I. So, I guess that was a beautiful message that, first off, they tried to make me missing in action, but they are the ones that are going to be running and hiding, and they're going to have to root out of the woods. They wanted me to live in the woods and die, and they've tried. And I can speak about like one of the horrible magical incidences where that almost happened. They tried to do that to me, and unfortunately that's what they'll be doing. I kind of want, like, it's like it feels like an M should be in here also to be Miami, honestly. Which, I mean, it's here on the top, but eagle, so flying. They're going to be missing in action, the eagle flying. And that's all shit I've been speaking on for years too, but nobody wanted to listen. They just wanted to accept that story because that meant that the money kept flowing to them, what they didn't ask. Okay, so the next one, L, E, I know that was missing, E, A, I. So I'm gonna like a Leah, Lee, Lay, Ale, A-L-E. That's my mother's initials. So it's like I kept puzzling around, like why is it so hard? Like, and my mother's initials A-L-E kept coming out. It all the roads and routes to evil go straight back to my mother. Yeah, so don't you love the tiles, Mordecai? I feel like that was I've worked really hard. I've searched. I spent a lot of time, energy. I want to say money because it was like gas money. I went to so many different stores to try to find these, and yet they have been very chatty and very short amount of time. So another N, and some of this is you have to actually kind of fill in the little tiny gaps. So N, O, A, I. For me, and actually, Mordecai, my love, can you drop those in the chat, please, as I put them in? I love you. Thank you. Okay. Not like I love you. I mean, I kind of do in some ways, but I love you. Like, thank you for being the wingman on that. I appreciate that more than you can know. N-O-A-I, I think New Orleans. NOLA. And I have past life ties to New Orleans. So for me, it's like New Orleans. I just don't do really cold. I've been trying to figure out, like, mentally, like, I can't do Michigan, and I know you can't do heat, so. Okay, V-E-E-D, Veed, or, is how I see it, but Veed, or veered. We veered off the path. And I know I'm crying right now, but like, I have so many people, so much heaviness on my shoulders. It's just constantly trying to crush me. And I'm like, when do the children and the women and the ones with no voice and the ones that need help, when do we finally get help? It really does make you feel like evil always wins, because when you ask for help, then they demonize you or make your life worse. And it's like, so it doesn't matter that's a word. It's the initials, man, and people will see it and they'll know exactly what that is. Kind of like when I pulled Leah. And how you're like, oh, I have something to tell you. It doesn't necessarily mean what it's like. Whatever your brain says, like, hey, wait, that adds a piece.
So even though the word doesn't make sense for you, it does for someone. And that's... Thank you, Mordecai, for reminding me to breathe. Hold on. Thank you. As much as I try to remind you guys to breathe, like, yes, the healer needs healing too. And the lover needs to be loved. And the fighter needs to be fought for. Okay, I'm gonna take a minute. Okay, so I'm going to express, I know crying is incredibly hard for me, and showing emotion is incredibly hard for me, and it is not something to do easily or lightly, and it has always made me a target by my family my whole life, and everyone else, right? They see someone crying, they think like, oh. And honestly, I feel like everything that's gone on, it literally feels like I'm on the ground clutching my ribs and they keep kicking me. That being said, I was told as a child often, quit crying, I'll give you something to cry about. You are meant to be seen and not heard. And I'm going to say one of the threats that was constantly just said, and yeah, it was meant to be funny, yet my family had that volatile hairpin trigger that I knew that they were not bluffing. I mean, yeah, they wouldn't maybe necessarily physically be able to do what they threatened, but I knew that they were capable of incredible, great, cruel violence. Yet, as a child, I was always told, if you don't shut up, I'm going to rip your arms and beat you over the head with them. So, I don't like crying. Because I was always threatened with horrible, grotesque things that, while it was a joke, right, I've seen what they've done. So, and, you know, being told you're too sensitive, you're a crybaby, you're this, that, and the other thing. So, being vulnerable, being emotional is incredibly challenging. I don't love it, and yet I'm tired of holding the pain in for everyone that should never have made me hold that pain ever. And you can say, well, you can't change other people. I realize that, but I can't get them to leave me alone. I can't change other people, but I can't go to the police to have them leave me alone, because the police have proven that they are in their corner. I've tried going to bigger agencies and get denied, and I'm like, well, because the bigger agencies are part of it. It's anywho, yeah. everything that they've done are a violation of human rights. I've tried contacting the UN because what they're doing violates my basic human rights. Okay, I'm gonna take a lap for a minute myself. I need to move some of that around for a second. And maybe grab another snack myself. I don't know. I'm don't love eating, but then it's like also like trying to bring sustenance so that I don't completely burn out, and also trying to ground because eating is grounding. So I'll be right back too. Nice. You have to take care of little dude. If you didn't, I'd be super pissed at you. I hope Mordecai headbutts you to let you know that that's true. Okay. I'm just going to pull into the tarot. That's what you're meant to do. You're meant to spoil your man. Because that means that you're meant to be spoiled too. I don't
I mean, like, I spoil my cats, but I try not to give them a lot of treats. Just like my dog, I try not to give him a lot of treats because then they have stomach issues. And I have one big guy that already has stomach issues, so I try not to perpetuate. Okay. Seven of Coins. Finances are messy. Like for me, my finances are messy, and that has to do with all these people intervening. And that's the other part. When my mom died, my sister tried to do everything to make sure that I was not included. I did not get a dime. The other part of it that was ironic around, because when they called to tell me that I had anything coming from my mom, I was shocked, because I had been told by my mother that I was never going to get a fucking dime, and I didn't want a dime. So when the executive of her state called me to be like, hey, you're getting a little bit of something, I was incredibly shocked. I mean, I didn't get hardly anything compared to what everybody else got, but I did get something, and my sister had told that person, she's not in the will, she's not anywhere near it. So, that part. The other part of it that's ironic, that after having those conversations about the life insurance policy, or not life insurance policy, sorry, because I had asked the executor, I'm like, I had asked about a life insurance policy because I had had a life insurance policy taken out on me in cash that I did not initiate. I knew fucking nothing about. So that was like a question that came up at that time. Also, though, when my mom died, which my sister was living with her, she worked in the medical field, she has access to records and stuff like that. Good. I love that Mordecai's in. Mordecai wants to talk to me, man. He hears me, he sees me, he knows. Anyway, when they had called me to tell me that I was getting something, at least anything, the person had asked me, and like I say, I was completely fucking shocked. I knew nothing. I didn't know anything. And she had asked me, because apparently someone from the camp, not me, because again, I didn't know, had already tried to initiate the paperwork on my mom's estate stuff. And, let him do it, man. Just let him be part of the fray. Anyway, so, my family, but they all denied it too, that they initiated the claim on her policy to start the process. So they had, someone, like I say, had jumped the gun and tried to initiate the process on her paperwork, but the only ones that were on the paperwork like that were myself, my brother, and my sister, but everyone else denied doing that, and I had no fucking idea. So there's that. The other part, there were problems with the names on the paperwork for me and another party, but she couldn't disclose who the other party was, but something was wrong about names and signatures. I do know I came from a family that has a lot of addictions, like my brother, who likes to grape little girls, has gambling addictions, and he has no qualms about hurting other people. He has no qualms about taking money from people that need it and using it for his own shit. My sister is a rip-roaring alcoholic. Her baby daddy's a rip-roaring alcoholic, and a pedo, and so yet it's me that they punish. And I want something to be done about it. I want something to be done about it so that I don't have to continually be attacked by people that have no right even being free to walk around. And like I say, I've exhausted myself trying to do the right thing by going to therapy while not having insurance and having to pay for it out of pocket. I've had psych eval, didn't have insurance, paid for it out of pocket. My business is online. They're intentionally, like, every time I hand out cards, I never get calls. So, and honestly, they have been redirecting my calls, my important mail. They've been stealing my mail. They've been redirecting my mail. Yeah. Okay. I know I got one card out and then had to speak on all of that because there really is a lot that's happened that even when I call it into question with so many people, like people that can do something, because people always say, oh, well, don't post it here, you should try the correct avenues. I tried all of those and met dead ends. Up to the point that I tried calling the FBI 2 weeks ago to report all of this shit and got hung up on without saying hardly one sentence. Dude was incredibly rude. So, well, why didn't you ask for help? Why didn't you follow the correct channels? I did. The system failed. Whew. I've lost faith in humanity. I've lost faith in humanity and the fact that anyone's worth redemption. And yeah, I know not all people, yet enough people aren't standing up and saying, hey, you can't do that, to make a difference. Okay. 4 of coins. This again goes like greed, lack mindset, poverty, like holding tight. Ironically though, Ace of coins. So getting the payoff. So I hope today, sooner rather than later, because yeah. Anywho. Okay. Hi, Kane. Okay, well. Oh, 6 of Cups. This is looking at those past emotions, saying, hey, you know what, this didn't work. We've got to keep moving. That's, I'm going to say on that bullshit. I was told today by, again, someone that assists the abusers, covers their tracks, all of that it was my approach. It wasn't what I said, it was my approach. Yet, what approach was I supposed to take different with them? And the other part of it is I'm not the one that has to change my approach. It's them as a whole entire fucking group. I do not have to change my approach with them. They have to come correct. Because again, after all of this body of everything that they've accumulated, their approach is going to have to be accountability. So the shoving it down my throat, like, you have to change your approach. No, man. intuitively, Spirit led me to take that approach because it was shown to me that these people were never going to do right on their own. Yet they gaslight it saying, it's me. No, it isn't. And the thing that upsets me with this one that I was talking about, I was like, I know that I raised you better. And I know that you know what I'm talking on is true. And yet you still work with them. That's what upsets me. You know who I am, yet you still believe them and protect them, and you know who they are. I don't need to change my approach. And honestly, all of this has been about trying to protect the very people that are supporting the abusers. And because they're children. I'm trying to protect my children who know and see, at least one of them does, who the fuck these people are, what's going on, and continue to protect them. Anywho. Okay, I'm gonna put those cards back in. And I know that was a lot of heaviness, and that's not anything I ever love to talk about. Like, I would rather be sunshine roses dancing in the yard, but they're never gonna let me do that. My being happy even when I have nothing infuriates them even harder because they are not capable of finding happiness at seeing a beautiful flower. Instead, they want to destroy said flower because it's so beautiful. I know. So I don't do a lot of music stuff because I don't want to get copyright. And honestly, if I had a partner that could like do part of it, what I would probably do is have a partner that's doing like sound bowls and stuff like that, like sound stuff, so I could dance. That's the other the one thing I will say about my ex, one of them, not the big one that's creating a lot of problems. He actually would help me, like he would do sound stuff with me and for me. And when I talked about building my shit with him and, you know, building my life with him, he couldn't be found. Even though I know he has a great talent with sound, he has the great potential for talent with healing, he would rather go back to a cash grab and his mama. So, yes, I would love to do like a dance stream, music dance stream, but I need to find the partner that can help support that, because I would like for it to be drumming and rattles and yes, I can do it, but it's, you know, dancing and drumming and, you know, it's like kind of a, it's on the list, Mordecai, along with so many other projects that I have to help bring what I do to the world. I need help. I need help. I need the finances and the resources and the people and the you know, and that's the challenge. I love that this came up because I had one friend and well, A, partnered, but B, probably have the finances to be able to support copyrights. I don't have shit because, again, the people that were supposed to not hurt me have made it so that I can't do beautiful things for other people or myself. Okay, so I had a friend, and it's very frustrating because I don't know where they stand. I kind of, like, I have suspicions, but I don't know exactly where they stand. Except they're like, oh, have you thought of this product, doing this thing or this product or this service? You would be so great at it in XYZ. And I go, yes, except because I don't have the resources to do it. And I've done, the thing that she suggested is something I do want to bring forward. And I've been trying to work on that prototype for almost 2.5 years. But I don't have the time, the space, the people, the resources to be able to put out what she wants. It's on the list though. But, oh, have you thought of it? Yeah, but I don't have the people. I don't have the resources. I don't have the... Yes, I want to do that. And yes, that's going to be amazing. And yes, it's going to be beneficial. But I can't put it all out by myself. I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to make money to eat. Yet I can't get anybody to help. So when, oh, have you thought of this? Yes, I've done that for myself, and I've done that for the people closest to me that I love, but it's not something I can bring grand scale because I have everybody constantly taking my resources and never replenishing. And like I say, actually just completely ripping my resources. So, and I had another associate, and they had said, oh, have you thought of trying this game? And they were trying to brainchild that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have time to take your game, make it for you, and then have you take it from me. Is it something I've thought about doing? Yep. Like the suggestion they had, is it something I thought about doing? Yep. And when I can do it and I have the resources and the money, will I? Yep. But, and he's like, well, I gave you this great idea. You should run on it. And I'm like, do you know how many great ideas just like that I have that I've been trying to work from my own, but I can't ever get it out because people are constantly kicking over my fire? Anywho, yeah. Have you thought about that? Yeah, do you not think I've been trying to do that, but I can't get any help? And instead of getting help, it's literally like a whole legion of demons trying to put it out or steal it for themselves. And then, oh, where have you been? You're a bad friend. I haven't seen you. Why do you look so tired? Because I'm literally fighting huge groups of people, including government, to try and bring love and healing and light to the world. That wasn't meant as a rant, Mordecai. It was like a, yes, these are all things that I've been working, and this is the side of it, trying to be like, yes, I've been trying, but I can't. It's like as soon as I take care of one fire, the next 3 crop up. Okay, well, yeah, okay. Queen of Swords. So using swift, decisive action, this is the Widow Queen, the Divorce Queen. Using that logic, it's known as being cold, cutting, biting. And that, I mean, like, I had to Queen of Swords my life. Like, the people I never wanted to live without, I had to cut out of my life because they proved time and time again that because they couldn't be the captain, even though they weren't qualified, they were going to sink my ship. So Queen of Swords is cutting out anything not for us, cutting it out radically. And then people say, oh, well, why did you stop talking to someone so-and-so? That means you were friends for so long, blah, blah, blah. You know that person's abusive and my life is better and happy without them. Why are you giving me a hard time for doing what was best for myself and my family? I had that happen with, I had said I cut a friend off, which my kid didn't even like that friend. She despised that friend. And yet I saw something that I was like, yep, I don't want them around my kids. And when they're like, well, you don't have any friends and you ruin everything. No, man. It's like, if I can't trust them with my man, my money, my food, or my children, and not in that particular order, but those are like my, if I can't trust you with my back turned with my food, I do not want you anywhere near me.
If I can't trust you with my partner because you would be inappropriate when I walk that, you're not allowed in my section. If I can't trust you with my kids because you're going to do something to them, you're not welcome. If I can't trust you with my money, I don't want you anywhere near me. Yet, and this person saw that, but it was like, I cut that person off for your safety because them and their family were performing predatory behavior, and I saw it, and they did it to me. What would they do to a teenager? Or a baby? I would rather not have a friend like that. Yet, I got major heat for cutting that person off, and I was like, I cut that person off because I saw that what they would have done to you. And then their whole family covered that too. Like, the whole family was behind covering the predators and actually being like, no, you have to let them do that. I have to walk out that door and never call you again. The sun is on the bottom. The sun is the most auspicious card, like the happiest. For me, the sun is Leo energy. And again, that goes straight back to my mom. And, you know, there are some astrological signs that I wish they would disappear off the face of the earth. And I've never had a good experience with a Leo. I know that's harsh to hear, and I know the Leos in the room are going to be like, well, I'm not like that. You know what? Every Leo, for me personally, our contracts have been shit. So, yeah. As the best friend zodiac, there are certain zodiac signs that I never want to have anywhere near my ship ever again. Leo is one of them. I relish the person that would step forward and prove me wrong in my theory, but it hasn't happened yet, and it's been 23 years for one very specific Leo and 42 years for the original Leo that fucked my life. Yeah, I don't ever... Yeah. Again, harsh, yet this is release. This is release for other people too, because it's like, how does my story help you, or how does this resonate to you, or how does me being able to express my heavy story allow you to be able to express your heavy story and find your healing and help someone in your energy that can need it. Okay. Anyway. Hi, Azira. Ace of Cups. Love offer, emotional stability. That offer's coming in. How was your goth rave last night? Five of Cups. There's been emotional lack, being left out in the cold, which is, if you're here and you're part of my vibe, that'll probably resonate. Maybe not all of my story, maybe a huge part of my story resonates. And if it does, then you need to start standing up and saying, hey, this isn't right, and telling your story so other people can help you. Anywho, King of Wands. Fiery, passionate, not, again, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius with King of Wands. The star, shining bright, being the star of your own life. Cool. Happy for you. Long. The star, standing bright, shining. Rising above. Strength. Having used strength, fortitude, Wrestling the Leo, wrestling the lion, taming the beast. The Devil on the bottom. Addictions, coping, let it go because it's withholding you from 10 of Cups. Happily ever after, financial stability, love, wish fulfillment. And when I started dreaming of the what the best future could look like, before I ever knew about 10 of Cups, it was the 10 of Cups. That's what I saw before ever knowing what 10 of Cups was. So it is ironic how even before we ever know something's a possibility or reality, we see it with our mind's eye because we know that that's what's coming for us. I'm glad you were hanging out last night, Mordecai, and enjoying life. I as well tried to do the same. Very sleepy though. Had a long night. A long night with a good friend. King of Swords. So this little bitch, King of Swords, and I do say little bitch because I saw it come out originally and I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to bring it out. I tried ignoring him. I put him back in the deck twice and he just keeps popping out. So the King of Swords. Every time, okay, so like for me personally, King of Swords is like the nemesis. Yeah. So every time I see King of Swords, I'm like, no, motherfucker, you don't get to rain on my parade today. For me, King of Swords was a Gemini from born and raised in Greece who wasted my time for, oh God, he's wasted my time for over 2 years. So every time I see the King of Swords, it's because, you know, I want to date you, yet every time I give him an opportunity to show up, he leaves me high and dry. And I just stop, you know, and then he still thinks I'm interested now. Like, I gave him the cold shoulder for so fucking long, but he's still creeping on my socials. He's still thinking that I want to be anything to him. And I'm like, you don't understand. If you don't move your feet, I'm not part of this with you. So the fact that he's had over 2 years to try to have anything with me and he still can't, yeah. No, so every time I see King of Swords, I think like, yeah. I find out like hanging out with devil energy anymore. I don't like being a devil anymore. So when you're like, I was a devil last night, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't, no thanks. I don't like drinking anymore because, yeah. A Chariot, moving swiftly, knowing what we want, being decisive, balancing it out. Two of Swords, stalemate, not knowing which way to go, having to take the blindfold off, just cutting away anything that is not for you, radically.
Don't care if it hurts feelings. On the bottom, it's King of Pentacles. So it's affecting, again, stability, your financial stability. Being in that devilish energy potentially could be affecting your financial stability. Queen of Pentacles, it's affecting the ability to bring in counterpart financial stability. Judgment just popped out and popped back in. We'll see if she comes out again. 10 of Wands, putting down all the burdens, not carrying them anymore. Don't carry other people's weight. Okay, 8 of Coins. We've done the financial work, the toil and labor. We have to let it go. We've planted the seeds. The world, which makes me always think like the world is a vampire. So the world is changing in your favor. The cycles have to close. The High Priestess sitting in that embodiment of using every element within the environment to bring forth what we want. King of Coins, that financial stability. We're going to be bringing in that financial stability. 3 of Swords, there's been heartbreak, betrayal. Gotta let it go. Let the people go. Let that go. Well, I always carved pumpkins for my kids. I hated carving pumpkins, and yet I also loved it too. And can't even tell you how many years it's been since I've carved a pumpkin. And honestly, it's been at least 4 years since I've celebrated any holidays and or felt any kind of love. And the holidays used to be my favorite time of year. Yeah, I haven't been to a pumpkin patch in I don't know when. Yeah. It's a reality I don't know, Mordecai. Just like being able to spend a weekend alone, like locked away with someone I love and enjoy. That's the reality I've never known. It sounds beautiful on paper. Hot cocoa and cold weather and activities and pumpkin patches and sounds great, but I've never known it, so I'd like to. I'd like to know what it feels like to wake up on Christmas and have a beautiful morning and somebody that loves me and have presents for me. Anywho, okay. Well, let's get back into the cards because that's messy and shitty. In reality, I guess, like that is the reality. Like from this side of the fence of those all sound like beautiful, great things, but not everyone has experienced them. I mean, yeah. I envy the people that had loving families and loving childhood and growing up and knowing what
security and happiness and all of that felt like. I don't. High Priestess and Three of Swords, so High Priestess and betrayals. I'm trying so hard to make my life beautiful, and maybe it's just not meant for me. Maybe it's not in the cards for me to know what happiness and love is. I've tried. I have changed myself. And my environment and my life so much, only to be told every time no, and the door slammed in my face. I mean, I do kind of feel like Cinderella, like that glass slipper only fits me, but I can't even have the person that has the glass slipper to show up to my door to know where I am. Like, I keep waiting and hoping that one day it'll be me, yet it never is. And I'm not mean to sound like a big fucking crybaby. I'm just tired. Tired. It's watching everyone around me that is awful win while I'm still stuck. I love Beauty and the Beast too, and yeah, it does feel like that too. It's like being trapped in a castle, but then having the townspeople come for my love because they want me more than my love does. Yeah, I don't know. I do feel very much like Belle, especially because I'm nerdy and love to read, and I do very much love the Beast because I realize underneath it all, he isn't the Beast, and he is under a spell. And I keep hoping that true love will break the spell, yet that doesn't seem to be happening either, and the townspeople are coming. I don't know. I don't know if I believe, life is a fairy tale. In a lot of ways, life is a fairy tale, and a lot of those stories do have basis to it, but then at the other time, it's like, okay, but like romantic comedies, it doesn't work out that way. There isn't actually, or maybe there is, I just haven't experienced it yet. I don't know. I know I've put in a lot of work and effort and hard whatever on my own end, but people keep trying to rewrite me out of history and rewrite my stories so that they look like Gaston. Okay, well, let's go down the Disney rabbit hole for a minute. I do feel kind of like Cinderella. I felt like that since I was a kid. I also do live in a house with magical creatures that assist on my journey. So there's part of that for Cinderella. I definitely have been kept away by an evil mother / stepmother and her siblings and children, and I was denied access to the ball. I definitely have a fairy god parent because it's both masculine and feminine. You know what, Mordecai? I'm just gonna say I'm a real catch, man. Think of that while you're stepping out. King of Coins, financial stability, abundance. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. Page of Cups. Page of Cups. That's those emotional. That's like those immature emotions that are causing problems. Oh, well, you know what? I hope everything comes out in the end. And shaking it more than twice is considered playing with it, so do with that what you will. Go pee. Just make sure you wash your hands. That's probably about the nicest thing I've been called recently, so. Two of Cups. Love, stability. You know, and actually that's probably the most... I've probably found more comfort and kindness and love from you, a stranger, than I have from the people that love me. And like I say, that's the nicest thing I've been told in a minute. So that feels sad as fuck. Okay, Two of Cups. Bringing in that love, that stability, that happiness, that unity. Page of Swords, cutting through, moving swift, using the emotions that you have to get out of there. The sun will come out tomorrow. That was a whole musical I used to sing a lot as a kid. Feels relevant. Four of Cups, sitting in that emotional lack. We're clinging on to... or Four of Coins, clinging on to money. Greed is a factor with all of this. People being afraid of lack. Oh, Ace of Coins, the financial abundance is coming. Six of Swords, moving away to safety. Almost as if being moved by the divine. And the Lovers. Gemini, finding that counterpart, that other half, the light to your dark. And then the Empress sitting in that, it's bringing in beautiful abundance, fertility, stability, sitting in the divine power of knowing that you are the Empress. Okay. Well, those are all repeaters from earlier. I don't feel like going over them again. Okay. The hand list. Okay. Well, we're just gonna... The message keeps repeating. Which I guess if the message keeps repeating, that means we need to listen to it. Because it'll keep repeating until you listen to what it has to say. I'm gonna bring some sound bowls in. We're gonna do some sound bowls because that's what I want. That's what I want. And since no one else gives me what I want, I might as well give myself what I want.
this is where I learned to lean into intuition, because people, like, I think of musicians who get super this is like an example of Max. Like, he would have to get everything perfect. Well, what I realized is you have to lean into intuition and follow what is divinely guided, because when you follow intuition, the universe will cultivate for you exactly what you need. So don't be so stuck in, like, oh, you have to play this note exactly right, blah, 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 blah. Or, no, it was, like, curated for you in just that moment. So even when there's weird skids like that, it's like, nope, that's exactly what universe wanted or needed, and that's how it goes. So, I don't know. Whereas he was a control freak, I'm exactly, like, radically had to try and be exactly the opposite. Because he had to control everything. I learned to embrace and flow into being able to control nothing. An example of this was as a married partner to him. It was always like work always took precedence over everything else. It was like I would make plans to go to a concert, but because of weather or delays or the schedule, I never got to have plans. I never made plans because I never knew if my partner was going to be with me. I never knew if I was going to have a babysitter. I never knew if I was going to have to pivot and do anything else. So, yeah, I guess embrace and lean into the chaos and unpredictability of life. It's like when people want me to follow a schedule, and I'm like, they'll be like, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, unless it's a really big deal, the day is written as we go. Because to try and plan it, it's never going to go to plan. So, yeah. The side note I'm going to make on, like, the control freak part of it. This was a man that could not control himself, yet he tried to control me. And then he grouped up with a bunch of people, a bigger bunch of people that definitely couldn't control themselves, to try and control me. That sounds like insanity and a recipe for disaster for him and all parties involved. None of them could control themselves. I can control me. They can't control themselves. And then they all got together in a group to try and control me. They're all even worse, like energetic, messy-wise than I am. Yet, that was the whole point. You can't control nature or the divine, so them trying to control me is a recipe for their house to be left in the ashes. Trying to cage a phoenix and control a flame that was not meant to be controlled is about the most dangerous situation. And they've gotten burned, and they've been warned, and yet they think that that's going to work out for them, not realizing that it is actually bringing down their whole entire structure. And Phoenix/flames are not consumed, they just ascend and transcend. And I know I'm a Phoenix. I've known that a very long time. It was the ones around me that couldn't use their observation to know that that was about the stupidest idea they could do. I was literally just wondering if you were going to be back, and then you popped, my love. No, I don't have a camera in your house. I don't got time for that. I literally was just wondering if you were going to be back, and then you go. Although that's the irony. I am right, yet everyone wants to deny me. They should be paying me and trying to figure out how they can utilize that for themselves for good. That was the whole point, where I need to release some shit. And there's some unfriendly energy around that makes me not want to talk real big right now. That's the other part. When the ops are in my energy and they think I don't know. No, man, I know. When I get sent spell work and they think she'll never know that, and I love, because like my ex would say it about other things. They would be like, how does she do that? I have heard him say that before through like the ethers, in that like there was no way she could ever know. No, I know. Especially the ops, it leaves like this black ugly gunk on me and in my aura. So when they're like, we weren't anywhere near you, no, I feel mad, and I know. It's not you I'm worried about, Mordecai. And you know that. Well, and that's the irony. When I'm dead balls right on stupid shit that I should never know, and I keep saying, hey, I feel you, I know what you're doing, and they continue to do it, it just angers me even more. It's like when I can tell people have been in my home when I've been out, I get angry, raging angry. And it's like, I shouldn't know. They have left every indication that they're not in my space and my energy. And yet it makes me so fucking pissed because they violate my free will time and time and time again. And I call it and I'm right on it. Yet they still keep thinking I'm stupid. I may be merciful, my ancestors are not. And my ancestors give me the 411 when people are doing shit they're not supposed to. So they keep still thinking it's funny, they keep doubling down. Yet don't understand why their life is about to completely, and I do mean completely, this is what the energy bowl is bringing out for me. It's like that deep-rooted shit that no one wants to hear, and it does fuck up the vibe. That's what the bowl, that's what their energy is bringing out in me. So that's where that goes. It's bringing out the shit, because I'm tired of people, again, playing in my fucking face. No, it's meant to release. That's why I always sing Let It Go. It brings everything up, even the really uncomfortable shit, and it's meant to. Because I'm tired of people playing and thinking like, oh, she don't know. No, I do. that is the part of it with singing bowls, Reiki, all of that. It does bring out, like, it makes you feel good, but it also brings out that deep-rooted shit. That's why people don't want to do it. And yet, if you can't feel it, you can't heal it. So when I let the really deep shit out, that's because it's meant to be brought up. And the people that are playing in my face, that watch this, that think I don't know, I see you, and I call you out. Because you have been trespassing against free will. Which breaks universal law, which means you just got in trouble with Big Daddy or Big Mama. And they're not merciful. They're working for the highest good of the whole collective. That means all the people that you tried to suppress, the women and children, you have a bigger problem to answer to. All these people that don't believe in God are about to be praying to someone that they don't believe in and realizing that phone ain't gonna be answered. And the devil that they prayed to is going to denounce them because the devil that they prayed to knows that they fucked up too. There is a pecking order. So many people are going to be screaming out and left unheard because they knew better. And they still did it anyway. We'll say very Anubis. Very weigh your heart against a feather and you chose wrong every time. It's making my Reiki hand cramp and vibrate. And that's also part of that anger coming up off to be released. And that's old. That's primordial. Yeah, I know the change is happening. And, okay, so you want to talk about some bigger level shit. The poles changed direction. So, and people want to deny that. No, the poles changed direction. The earth literally flipped up on its axis. And they can deny it. And that's also the part where change needs to happen on a social, societal level. And the people that are fighting real hard to cling to the old system, they literally will be wiped off the face of the earth like they tried to wipe off the face of the earth the people that have been helping integrate the change. It does. I just gave you Mordecai, I just gave you some free tea, baby. Some bigger tea. It really is bigger and deeper. And the people that have been trying to fix the scale in their favor are going to realize that they cannot. As much as they try to, and I spoke on this the other day, silencing and suppressing the seer means that we still see what's happening. We just can't warn you. And all you're doing is literally driving faster towards that wall at 100 miles per hour while drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette, with blindfolds on, with all of the innocent people in the back not being able to stop you. And we can't say shit. It really is cutting off your nose to spite your face. And then the ones that try to copy my gift, but they don't have the vibrational match because they didn't do the work, are actually leading the people faster towards the wall. That really is a tale as old as time, yet it's time to be rewritten. I love that you're watching the weather change. I feel like I should have gone outside to read today, and yet the energy outside right now is hostile as shit. So, and I have a lot of people driving by and creating disturbances. So I love being outside, and yet I know when it's not good to be outside. So it's the seeing part of it. And that has been leading me since I stepped into the spiritual path. It has been intuitively led, which ironically, when my daughter's like, oh, well, you start acting crazy and out of character. Yeah, because the way that I was doing it before, that's how they were going to get me tripped up, because they gaslight me on my intuition. My intuition has been super right on. So suppressing and silencing my gifts like they want is incredibly dangerous for all of the people involved that are innocent. Yeah. If I had listened to my ex, he would have years ago at his hand. And they've done it on paper, so technically it looks real problematic for my ex and my family when they have on paper made me, and then I'm still alive. That's why they're scared. They don't have the answers. I would adore it. I would adore it. I want to be in the water. I want to be by the water. I've needed the water for 2 years, and I keep getting denied that too. Like, they literally have grounded me, so I can't fly, I can't move, I can't do shit. I'm gonna have to send you some beautiful pictures I have of the trees in the last 2 days. I watched it, so we had chatted about the leaves yesterday falling like rain, and as I was sitting watching outside my window, because that's as far a vacation as I get right now, I watched the leaves rain down, and I thought of you, and I thought of how beautiful it is and how I'd love to enjoy it with someone. It's kind of like when you talked about sitting on the lake and drinking your coffee in the morning and having a cigarette. I'm like, I wish I could be there more than anything in the world. Because that is something that I love at my core and that I do when I'm capable. But I haven't been able to do it for a while, and definitely haven't ever had someone sit next to me that I could enjoy that with. So. We are more alike than you realize, Mordecai. Anywho, okay, well, maybe someday you'll have someone that loves to do that with you, and maybe someday I'll have someone that I can do that with, but I'm glad you get to explore that opportunity. There are women that would enjoy the shit out of that with you, and yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna get into the root chakra and do some clear, and then I may have to check some times. I have some more pressing obligations by people that are going to yank my chain and be a dick. So, and while it's not something I want to participate in, it is something I do have to participate in, because these are players that won't leave me alone like they've been instructed and violate my free will and aren't held accountable by the people that are supposed to hold them accountable. And actually, at the biggest core, they need to hold themselves accountable like they hold me accountable. Anyhow, I know that was some heavy ass shit. Okay, I'm gonna ring out the
root chakra. Let me take a... Let me be a fiend for a second. Yeah, I already started trying to clear out that car horn. Well, you said wait a minute, so I listen. Make up your mind. Don't be an Aries. Decide what you want and stick to it. I do too, because I'm running out of time. My time right now is finite. That's what nobody realizes. My time is finite. Any time you have with me isn't always, it's never going to be long enough. Because once I'm not able to deliver anymore for the people that need it, I have to go because I have to take care of me. I mentioned that yesterday because Aries are known as the fighter sign. So when I saw that, and I mean, I know because I have Aries, when I saw that, I was like, yep, no, that's right. I literally just mentioned that to an Aries yesterday, that they were banned from a club. And I love that they're making Geminis pay double because Geminis are fuckwits. Except for you don't know how to not fight when you have fun. So it's like we mitigate the risk by banning the Aries. For me, it's like I ban Leos in my life, period. Leos are not allowed in my club. I know that sounds like, nope. Every Leo that has entered my life has... Yeah, they're not allowed. I was thinking about that today when I went out for a walk with the dog. I was like, yeah, Leos are never on the list. They don't get entry. Yep. I do not. Leos, no. My baby daddy, my first baby daddy, the one that's still angry at me 20 plus years later, even though he didn't contribute a goddamn thing, is mad at me and dissed me to my son. And I'm like, be so fucking for real. No, I wouldn't ban you, Mordecai. I'm allies with Aries. You guys are my counter sign. Leos, though, Leos can go suck a big fat dong until they do right. My baby daddy's a Leo. I cannot. My mom's a Leo. The most recent ex that was a little bitch coward was a Leo. No, get the fuck out of here. I know that's harsh, but prove me wrong. Not all Leos. No, for me, all Leos. At least the ones that were like the primary foundations. So, I mean, I'll help Leos, but they aren't allowed in the club because they always ruin the scene. Yeah. Well, because they can't be the royalty with us, like with that person. Because that was the other part. I would bring something to the most recent Leo. I would bring something that was cool, and then he would try to
overpower me with something he wanted to show me, but actually completely detracted. And I'm like, so yeah, no, I don't like being around Leos because the show has to always be about them when it clearly was never about them, at least not in my story. They tried to steal the show because I actually had better than them. I was better than them. And they tried to steal the show. And I'm like, it's the equivalent. Like, for me, Leos are the equivalent of the kid that gets in the pool and shits and everybody has to get out. And it's never the same until it's been properly deep cleaned and the time has passed. So I'm like, I don't even want the Leos in the pool because I'm like, if all you're going to do is come in and ruin it for me because you can't be the owner of the pool and you didn't even pay for any of that rights to be the owner of the pool. Yeah. I know that's harsh and I don't give a fuck. I've had so much happen in my life that it's my life and I can say who is allowed in it and who's not. If they don't like it, that's too bad. They can go live their life with whoever they want. Well, hold on. Because now I'm going to give him a lovely little, like, he's going to do like a nice little stretch and then get into a good sleep. Just wait. Because he's got something he needs to release too. Wait till I teach you some Reiki and you can do some Reiki on him. And then you'll see a completely different kitty. I do Reiki on my animals all the time. I know. Just wait. Sound healing is not just for humans. You should see what happens when my cats will all be over here sleeping except for the ones that rile them up are about to walk right back into this house, which is also why I'm doing sound healing right now, to bring any type of comfort, healing, relief before all hell breaks loose again. Yep. He's not going to attack you. See, you don't just come for healing for you, your kitty gets healed too. Alright, well. I have an effect with animals. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to speak on this for a moment or two. And this was before I had vision to be able to see during meditation and all of that. And I used to go, the place they originally started all this with, I used to go and I would do meditation and various things there with them. And one of the guys who I absolutely adored, and he's adorable, and he's a man I would have liked to have kind of gotten a little relationship with, but that was guided away, and that's best for both of us. But he did give some great insight. And one day when we were sitting there meditating, and he had said to me, he's like, yes, I saw you. He's like, you are the great divine mother, like you're like an earth mother. I'm like, yeah. I'm here to help with the animals and the kids and all of humanity and help the earth transition to higher vibrations. It's hard to do though when a lot of people are trying to stop that. Yes, I am a divine cosmic mother, yet I need assistance. Like, I can make beautiful meals, but it's hard to do with scraps and poison, and that's what they've been feeding me.
No. And I don't know if I ever will be. I am thinking about how that millipede ended up in my house, and I haven't had one in a few months since that other guy got evicted from my life, and that was the only time I ever saw millipedes around, was when that dude was in my life. I'm not okay. And I do need help, but apparently I have to be okay, and I have to be the one. I don't know. I need help. I need somebody sending, someone official that can actually fix this shit. I need the energy sent that the people that can assist, hear what needs to be done and take action. And I know I'm asking for the impossible, but I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of being... I'm just tired. I need help. I've needed help. I've been asking for help. I've been trying to get help. I really do need, the people that can help me to be sent to me, and I don't... Again, I feel like Cinderella and just waiting for the right people to show up. But I don't know how much longer I can wait and hold on. And I hate crying, I hate sharing emotion, I hate being vulnerable. And yet, this is, as far as I've been reduced to. Okay. One more ring, and then I really do have to get moving to make sure. They said they were going to alert me when they were on their way, yet they're notorious for not ever actually doing that and just showing up and then being like, oh, you weren't there. Well, yeah, because you were supposed to let me know and you didn't. That's not on me. I told you what needed to happen, and then you did the exact opposite. It was before they left today, I had warned the most important parts of the party, but I really wanted to warn the adult in the room that if they come home and there's a problem, you're never going to be allowed around them again. Yeah, I know if I had issued that warning, that person who is the adult, who's so smart in the room, would have done the exact opposite of what I told them to do. And unfortunately, it's my children and I that are the ones that suffer for the other adult in the room not being able to control themselves, follow basic instructions, or be a decent human being. So I didn't issue that warning to them because I knew they weren't going to listen, but they also don't have to sit in the pain and misery they cause. They just drive off and oh, I'm so innocent. No. And I really am tired of the people that perpetuated the abuse turning around and saying that they're the victim. Really? Anyhow. I know that's harsh, and that's... Okay. Come on, Babalo. Come here, girl. Come on. Where is she? She don't see you yet, huh? She don't see you yet? She don't know you exist right now? Cool. Means you actually get to hang out for a minute. Okay. Oh, no. She's been spotted. You're about to hear a cat fight. Alcatraz, be nice. Oh. Hey, girl, you are not going to hurt me. Yeah, well, the other co-host that's, no, this is a different co-host, but it's the other co-host that initiates a lot of jealousy
And the co-host that's really aggressive and territorial just took note and got up, and she's about to attack. And unfortunately, I'm in the middle of that, which is what I was just talking about with the adults in the room, right? So we'll see how co-host does and what the other co-host does. If you guys hear or see a cat fight, you'll know what just happened. Yeah, I'm about to be in the middle of a cat fight. Because the really possessive one... So this is Bobby. The one glued to my thigh right now is Bobby. The one I sent the picture with Abel from earlier, that was Bobby. She's a bobtail. Hey, Bob girl. And actually, we'll just show Alcatraz's antics about her possessive jealousy. Baba Black Sheep. Nope. Hey. Oh, well. That's my life. Guess you won't know. I mean, maybe I just feel like showing off my ink. I'm really proud of this ink. This was a really painful piece. Really painful piece, and it's my most transformative, and it is the healing journey that I've gone through on my spiritual journey. So this piece right here, there is a huge amount of story, pain, release, and trauma that went into this. And I mean, I can stand up and show full vision of it. It's pretty... Okay, so it's not just my thigh, bro. You ready? Okay. So it's, so it goes up here, and then it goes all the way up. So it goes, hold on, and it goes all the way up here. You can't really see that well, but yeah. So it's not just the thigh, man. But when I say that is my Phoenix tattoo, and that is a huge part of my healing, yeah, there was a lot of pain and trauma and, I mean, physical pain that went into it. And I never thought I would have rib tattoo because like I say, I have always been heavy, so this piece has really been a huge visible indicator of my journey. I like pain on the ribs is not even, that's like the most glorious epic understatement of ever. But it was literally like the trauma, like there was so much PTSD and trauma that was released through that tattooing. It was a painful process. It was long. It was arduous. There was a lot of mishaps in it, and yet again, it's like a huge visual representation of what I've been through. Yeah. When people want to say, like, I'm not tough, no, man. You have no freaking idea. I'm glad I didn't leave the house because their ETA is a lot shorter than what they originally thought it would be. So, again, playing mind shit games with an adult, but yeah. It's not shorter than, it's like they intentionally will say, oh, I'm going to be 25 minutes and then show up at 20 and then be like, oh, well, why weren't you there? Because you didn't show up when you were supposed to. Anyway, that's me being pissy, fussy. I don't care. I'm tired of dealing with adults that are supposed to do the right thing and be true to their word, and they don't. But they expect me to be. They should hold themselves as accountable as they hold me. Anyhow, okay. Another little ring and I'm out. I really am out. I got a timer to be able to get cleaned up this space and before they come back in. I'm not mad at my kids. It's the adults. It is the adult. That is the adult perpetuating this. I think I had spoken how it was like, it's not the kids or me. It's like the adults in the room that know fucking better, that use the kids as pawns to sink the ship because they're not allowed access on board. That's what's upsetting. I know my kids aren't like that. Yes, they are intentionally, but that's because they are being instructed by a more evil force. That's what pisses me off. Harming women and children that did nothing to you other than loved you and stood by you is about the lowest form of love. And I hope he finds someone that wants to exemplify to him how low he is, because those are lessons I can't teach him. He needs to meet the karmics because he needs to learn lessons that I can't teach him. And I hope that that karmic is just as vicious as him. And them, all of them. He will continue to meet himself and everyone else until he learns the lesson. Yeah. You know what? I can't even tell you all kinds of shit that, like I say, the adults have done to be able to perpetuate the kids' bad behavior. They're not actually out having fun. They're trying to figure out how to do bad things. That's why I warn them, like, do not come home acting shitty or this is never going to happen again on my time. They don't listen. That's why I was about to turn around and tell the adult, like, do not let this be a bad experience or you're not getting it again. But I know that instead she would intentionally do that thing to get the kids in trouble, and then she would just roll on down the road, get on a plane in a few hours and fly home and never have to deal with the consequences of her shitty actions. I'm just tired. Again, I need the right people that can actually help me make a difference in this, like showing up. I took care of everything, but then I was told that I'm not welcome. But they still expect me to take care of everything. It really is just mind-blowing. A little example, right? They live with their stepmom and their dad, and there's girls in that house, and I don't have the money at all that they definitely have. Their father makes a huge amount of money, yet my daughter had to ask me, like, basically beg, she's had to beg me to go get her school clothes. She's had to beg me to get her haircut. I don't have the finances, the resources, or the energy to, because but yet she's asking me to take her to get a haircut when she's got a mom and a dad and people that could do all of that for her, that promised her that they would. Yeah. Well, again, this is why I need the right people to be hearing me, so that I don't have to go through the shit anymore, and you don't have to go through this shit anymore. Like, I'm tired of going through the shit and everybody just saying, oh, you have to endure and you have to take it. No. The kids are suffering. I am suffering because homeboy couldn't keep his dick in his pants. And then couldn't lose because he was dead wrong but couldn't stop. Okay. Well, enough of all that shit. I'm Larry Joe, SirenSong lover. I've been dropping a whole bunch of just spiritual shit, life shit that's been going on my journey. Like, I get really raw and vulnerable over here, which is never comfortable for me at all. Yet, it's one of those, speaking my story, A, means that they can't keep getting away with it. B, it also means that other people that are listening to the story know that they're not alone if they're going through a similar or hard situation. C, it allows you to start speaking your story and healing the people around you. So the more awareness that is brought, and the more people that can bring awareness, because it isn't, so this is the example, is maybe someone does hear my story and go, yep, I've been waiting for you to speak on it so that I can do the next step and make all of this right for you. I'm going to speak that into his existence. I pray that the person that can assist to make everything right for me hears my story and makes the call to make it all come correct today. The person that can actually make it right, I pray that they hear me and they make it right today. Because it's not right what they did. It's not right that they keep getting away with it. Yeah, I do. I got less than 10 minutes to clean up, do the mad dash, which is very much like living with my ex-husband, doing the mad dash to get everything cleaned up so I didn't get punished, yelled at. So, I got 10 minutes to kind of get calm. Alright, guys. I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, they're literally breathing down. They're gonna be here in minutes, so I didn't get to do what I needed to do while they were gone. And if I'm lucky, I'll be here to do it tomorrow. I don't know. If they have their way, I would never see the light of day ever again. And that's not right, but alright. I'm tired. Bye, guys.